You're about to hear something that will either infuriate you or liberate you. The choice is yours. Because if Socrates walked into your life right now and watched you for just one day, he'd immediately know why you're stressed all the time. And honestly, what he'd tell you would make you uncomfortable. Because here's the thing. You think you're stressed because you have too much to do. But that's not it. Socrates would look at your life and say,
My friend, you're not stressed because you have too much. You're stressed because you've said yes to everything and no to nothing.
And I know what you're thinking, but I'm working hard, I'm grinding, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. And Socrates would smile at you and say,
Exactly. That's your problem.
Let me explain. Socrates had this concept he called the unexamined life. He said, the unexamined life is not worth living. But here's what he really meant by that, and this is going to sting a little. Most of you are living your life on autopilot. You wake up, you check your phone 96 times per day. Yes, that's the average. You say yes to meetings that don't matter. You scroll for hours. You go to bed feeling exhausted, but somehow like you accomplished nothing. And Socrates would ask you a simple question.
Do you even know what you're building toward?
See, in ancient Athens, Socrates would walk around the marketplace and he'd stop people and ask them questions. Not to teach them, but to expose that they didn't actually know what they thought they knew. He'd ask a politician, "What is justice?" And the politician would give some rehearsed answer. And Socrates would keep asking why until the politician realized he had no idea what he was actually talking about. And if Socrates asked you,
Why are you doing all of this? Why did you say yes to that? Why are you on your phone right now? You probably wouldn't have a real answer. You'd say, well, everyone else is doing it, or I have to, or I don't know, I just feel like I should. And that, my friend, is exactly why you're stressed.
Now, before I tell you what Socrates would actually say about your stress, I need to tell you something that's going to sound controversial. The reason you're stressed isn't because you're not productive enough. It's not because you need a better morning routine, or a new app, or another self-help book. Socrates would tell you that you're stressed because you're trying to have everything when life only allows you to have anything. Let me say that again because this is critical. In life, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. And until you understand that distinction, you will be stressed for the rest of your life. Now here's what Socrates understood that most people don't. Your stress is a symptom of a life lived without examination. Let me break this down into what Socrates would call the 3 questions of a stress-free life. Question 1. What do I actually want? Not what your parents want, not what Instagram tells you to want, not what your friends are doing. What do you actually want? Socrates would tell you.
You check your phone 96 times per day because you're afraid of the answer to this question. You scroll because boredom would force you to confront what you actually want.
Question 2. What am I currently doing that doesn't serve that want? This is where it gets uncomfortable. Because if you actually examined your calendar like a crime scene, and yes, that's what you should do, you'd see that most of your time is spent on things that don't matter. Socrates would say,
Every yes you give is a seed you plant. But if you plant too many seeds, your focus gets choked by clutter. A sword is only sharp because the blacksmith chips away at the excess metal. It commands power through removal, not addition.
Question 3. Am I willing to say no to good things so I can say yes to great things? This is the hardest question because you're not stressed because you're doing bad things. You're stressed because you're doing too many good things that prevent you from doing great things. Socrates would remind you.
In life, unless it's a yes, it's a no. You know when something is right for you. You can feel it in your gut. But the biggest shame in life is when you have things that are absolute home runs, but you have too much clutter in your life to go all in on what actually matters.
Most people identify as busy, overwhelmed, out of time. And because that's your identity, you'll always find ways to be busy and overwhelmed. Identity precedes habits. Change your identity, and your habits follow automatically. Instead of, "I'll try to be less stressed," say, "I'm the kind of person who only says yes to what truly matters." Instead of, "I'll try to use my phone less," say, "I'm the kind of person who creates more than they consume." When that becomes your identity, you don't need willpower. You just act in alignment with who you are. Socrates would leave you with this.
My friend, your stress is not a time management problem. It's a self-knowledge problem. You don't know what you want, so you say yes to everything. You don't examine your life, so you live it on autopilot. But the examined life, where you think about what you're doing and why, that's the only life worth living. So stop trying to do more. Start doing less, but with intention. Stop trying to have everything. Start choosing anything that actually matters.
Now go look at your calendar. If Socrates examined it, would he say you're living with intention or on autopilot? That's your homework.